Creativity is the key for our future generation to prosper. That is what I mentioned for the past 20 years. Hi, my name is Mahair Goh, the founder of Global. Before Global Art, I never had the intention of pursuing a career teaching art or even being an educator in general. So how exactly did I get into this industry? Back in 1994, when I was still a college student, I took out a few part-time jobs, such as being a waiter and newspaper graphic designer, as I need the income to support my study. And one day, I was approached by one of my friends. She wanted me to teach art at a music school. Being a young and passionate teenager, I took up the job stubbornly, and it felt so exciting to be the teacher. However, I have no prior teaching experience. During the weekday, I study, and during my weekend, I work as part-time. As you know, this decision will ultimately change my future forever. After teaching a few months, I found out about the traditional method of teaching art, which is where the teacher draws something on the whiteboard and the rest the student follows. Sure, it's work for certain people, but what about the rest of them? Everyone is different. Their capability, their age, even their learning style. This method totally distracts the student creativity. With that in mind, I start to approach how I teach differently, emphasizing more on the student age and ability. Moreover, different objects are used to teach them, and surprisingly, the progress could be seen. And this way I learned that learning is about progressing. What caught my attention the most was that the students themselves were starting to imagine creative new ideas. When I saw this, I knew that the creativity is something intangible. It's somehow being taught. In 1997, I started my first center, and within a year, I managed to achieve 100 students. I also started to spread my teaching technique to the teacher in my center. Fast forward to 1999, the first series of book and training manual was established. I clearly remember how all the workbooks were handmade. The binding, the cutting, everything. This was because I could not afford to pay for the high printing costs. I then started to promote my program by going around the streets. It was tough time, as I remember. During daytime, I would look for customers, and nighttime, I would make the books. Not to forget, during the weekends, I was a teacher. As always, the journey was never a smooth ride. In the first 2 to 3 months, after promoting to over 100 of individual and learning centers, I could not convince a single person, a learning center, to accept my art program. Of course, this was pretty natural because back then I was a nobody. Besides, this type of art program was very new at the time and has never been seen before. There were 1,000 voices around me constantly telling me that my art program will never work. Even my very own mother told me, "Your own center is doing so well. Why bother to create more suffering for yourself?" I replied to her by saying, "I just want to prove that my program works. It may even change children's lives by instilling creative thinking in them. My vision is not dictated by money, but rather determined on how many people I can influence." The very next year, I have 60 learning centers that were conducting my program. In the same year, I have around 8,000 students that enroll in my program. As the founder of Global Art, my top priority is always to maintain the quality of the art program by constantly innovating and improving the syllabus for our children to enjoy and to have a better learning experience. Other than that, I also put my franchisee goals and success over my own because I know that I will not be able to accomplish it alone. Today, we have more than 600 centers in 21 countries across Asia, the United States, Africa, and Pacific Ocean, with a total of more than 1 million students which have enrolled for our art program since 1999. I'm grateful and I'm also thankful to all my franchisees for their trust and support in this art program, and more importantly, sharing my passion and vision to become a provider of creative education. And once again, to my beloved global family, thank you.